YouTube, what is happening? It's your boy DJ Reviews back again with another review here, and this time I will be doing a review for you guys on the AirPod Max. I am super excited to finally have my hands on these. I've had them for a few days now. I wanted to listen to them, try them out, and give you guys my thoughts on these and talk about whether or not they're worth that $549 price tag. So that is the front of the box there. You have the Apple logo on the sides here, and then on the top it says AirPods Max, of course. Always nice packaging from Apple, one thing I really like. In the box, you get your quick start guide and your manuals, and then it does also come with Lightning to USB Type-C cable. Now, you do not get a charging brick with the AirPod Maxes, so just be mindful of that. So you want to make sure it'll work with your iPhone charger, or it'll work with like an iPad charger as well. So iPad or iPhone charger. Again, just be mindful that is the Type-C connector. So you would have to have one of the newer iPhones. Otherwise, you would need to buy a charging brick in order to plug this into the wall and charge it. So just be mindful of that. So obviously, let's get right to what you all came to see, which is the actual AirPod Maxes themselves. Now, obviously, right out of the gate, we see the case, the smart case that comes with these. Now, I like the fact that they included a smart case, but that isn't necessarily a pro in any sense, because you do also get a case with the Sony XM4s when you buy them. And the one thing I do like about the Sony XM4s case in comparison to the AirPod Max case is that these are actually, these are fully protected in this case, right? So this is a hard shell case that you get to protect the Sony XM4s, whereas with the AirPod Maxes, you don't get that full protection, right? So you can see a lot of the headphones themselves are very exposed. So if you were to drop these, you're more likely going to damage the headphones for sure. So Apple Care Plus is probably a must with these. I know I got it for mine just because it does cover accidental damage, but just be mindful of that. So obviously you can sort of carry them. I've heard a lot of the jokes now talking about the case that it looks like some people say it looks like a bra, a purse, right? So I've definitely heard the jokes, and I agree. I think this case is extremely goofy looking. I think it looks silly. I think as soon as they come out with another case for these, I will probably jump on board and make sure that I grab a new case for these. I'm sure there's some third-party cases that'll be coming out. Maybe Apple will work on something new. So that's my thoughts on the smart case. I'll talk a little bit more about this and the reason why you do want to make sure that you are placing the headphones back in the smart case in a little while. But I do want to get to the actual headphones themselves so you guys can see. Here are the AirPod Maxes. So really, really, really nice design, you guys. When I say these feel premium, I mean premium. And I meant what I said about when I did my review. If you haven't got a chance, please check out my review of the Sony XM4s. I did give a review on those, and I said the same thing. These also have a very premium feel. Even though it is just a plastic build, they do still feel premium because it is a higher end plastic. These are very lightweight. So if you get a chance, check out that review, and I'll talk a little bit more about my comparisons to these as well, the AirPod Maxes to the Sony XM4s. So again, to show you guys here, here is what you got on the top of the headphones here. You have your digital crown, which is a lot of people are familiar with this with the Apple Watch. It looks like just literally like a bigger crown. This is to control your volume up and down. If you press it in, you activate Siri. And then also on the top here as well, you have your active noise canceling and transparency mode. So you can switch between the two. And then the ear cups on these, I want to talk about that a little bit. I'll flip it this way. These are magnetic, which is really cool. And they come out really easily, but it still feels the quality is still very, very good. But I love that this is like a magnetized, just snaps right in, snaps right out. It's very easy to take these out of here. And Apple does also sell the ear cups separately. Now they are expensive. I think they're like $69.99, but the cool thing about that is it sort of, I don't know if you want to say future-proofs these in a sense that if these were to get worn down, you have the option to buy new ear cups for them, which I actually think is kind of, even though it is expensive, I think it is really cool that you have that option to be able to replace these, whereas on something like the Sony XM4s, these are sewn into the actual headphones, right? So I think these still can be replaced. I don't want to make it seem like you can't get these replaced, but it's just not as as easy as clicking it in, right? It would take a little bit more work to replace the ear cups on the Sony XM4. So something to be mindful. Again, it is expensive, let's be clear. Again, these do retail for $549.99. They are expensive. I want to be clear about that. They're not cheap. I would say it really kind of depends on what you're looking for with your headphones, right? So if you're just looking for active noise canceling headphones, I would definitely do your research. There's a ton of options out there, and these are on the higher end of that as far as cost. I think right now you can get the Sony XM4s. I think these are going, I've seen them on sale for like $250. They're normally $350. So that's $100 off the normal price. So half the price of, half the price of the AirPod Maxes. So just something to be mindful about. I would do your research for sure. I'm not going to just run and tell you to go and spend $550 on the AirPod Maxes. I would definitely do your research, and think about what it is you want out of your headphones and what it is you're looking for. I personally went with the AirPod Maxes because I am part of the Apple ecosystem. So for me, I have an iPad, I have an iPhone. So for me, it just made a little bit more sense. I like the idea of being able to it automatically will connect to, like, if I'm using my iPhone, I'm listening to music, and then I decide to go over and start watching videos on YouTube on my iPad, or watching a movie on my iPad, or whatever it is, it just automatically will just connect to whatever Apple device I'm using. So that's really, really awesome. One of the key features of these, I think, if you are part of the Apple ecosystem and have multiple devices from Apple, it's really cool to be able to have that as an option. So what I want to talk about here is I love one of the things I have to talk about right away, even before active noise canceling, is the transparency mode. The transparency mode is amazing on these. It literally feels like when you put these on, it feels so true to life, in the sense that it doesn't even feel like you have them on. I know that sounds crazy. It's definitely something you'd have to experience for yourself. I know it's hard right now because it's hard to be able to, I don't even know if there's any way to even try these out in an Apple store, just with COVID and everything. So maybe there is. I personally didn't go to Apple and try these out. I was just excited to get these, so I picked them up without, typically I would normally go into the store and test these out, but with the way things are, we know it's not as simple as that anymore. So I went off the strength of the reviews that I watched, and then obviously, again, being part of the Apple ecosystem, I was really excited to be able to have, Apple's over-the-ear headphones, and now that they're stepping into the noise canceling headphone game, right? Aside from like Beats, right? So super excited to have these. Now, transparency mode, getting back to that, sounds absolutely amazing. Eons better than anything I've heard. Far superior to the Sony XM4s. Not to say that they're not still a great pair of headphones, because until I got these, I think the Sony XM4s were my favorite headphone, over-the-ear headphones, noise canceling headphones. But these have now taken the crown for me, and that's the overall features of the AirPod Maxes versus the Sony XM4. So yes, I really like the transparency mode. Active noise canceling on these is really, really good. I would say it's still very, very close to the Sony XM4s, in the sense that I don't feel like it's a make or break for me. Like, I wouldn't be like, oh, run out and get these before the active noise canceling, because it's way better than the Sony XM4s. I think it's very, very close. I've listened to both, at different times and together. So, and they both sound really, really good. So if it's strictly for noise canceling, and you're on a budget, or maybe you're not looking to spend, double the money on the AirPod Maxes, then I would suggest looking into going with the Sony XM4s. I definitely think they are worth the money. And again, you can find sales all the time on Amazon, Best Buy, on Sony's website. I'm sure they got them for, they run sales on there too as well. So just keep an eye out for that, because there's always deals going on the Sony XM4s as well. So getting back to these, active noise canceling sounds really, really good, though. I don't want to say it like it doesn't sound great. It really does. But again, it isn't the reason I would say run out and buy these for $550. I would say there would have to be more to it for you than that to run out and get these. But I will say, if you don't currently own a pair of active noise canceling headphones and you are in the market, again, I would definitely stress, I can't stress enough, do your research. Don't just run out and buy the most expensive pair of headphones that you can find. Another thing to be mindful of is that the XM4s are a plastic build, whereas The AirPod Maxes are an aluminum build, so they are a lot more, a lot heavier than the Sony XM4s, which is something that I'm still getting used to. Going back to these now, this band is actually really, really comfortable. The way the weight is distributed on your head, there's no, yes, there is clamping from these, but it doesn't put any, and that just might be my head size, right? So that could be different for somebody else with a different head size. But for me specifically, these are very, very comfortable. They don't feel, I don't get that pressure on my head or feel like I have to have these off. I've listened to these for a couple hours and didn't feel like I needed to have them off of my head, and my ears weren't sweating. It wasn't, I didn't feel that. So again, getting back to the headphones themselves. So yes, again, the band, really nice. I really like how this is, I wish I had a way to better explain this, but these don't collapse, right? So that's another thing to be mindful of too. But this band here, there's so much tension here. And I do feel like one thing I like about this a little bit more than, say, the Sony XM4s is that this is like a clickier. So you can feel it clicking into a certain position, whereas with this, I feel like you can customize the headband a little bit more to your head size and get it more true fitting than you could with, say, the Sony XM4, specifically because there's no clickiness. It's literally on this sort of a, this swivel here. So it's really, I really like this band here on how it is on the AirPod Maxes. I really, really like that. So again, build quality, I think these are amazing. I think they're built really, really well. I love that the ear cups are detachable. Again, to be able to have that option to be able to replace these is really cool. It is expensive. I think it's like $70 if you wanted to replace the ear cups, which I don't think you'll have to do for quite some time. I think unless they got damaged or, again, over a long period of time, it's just kind of cool to be able to have that option. So on here too, you do have sensors in both the ear cups here. I don't know if you guys can see that. One here in the right and then one here in the left. Sorry, get the angle on that. Kind of see it, there it is. Yep, so obviously that picks up when you take the headphones off, it'll pause the music, you put it back on and resume it, right? So one thing to be mindful of though with the smart case is that there's no power button on the AirPod Max. So if you were to just have these hanging around your neck like so, and you didn't have them back in the smart case, then you are going to waste the battery life. So that is just something to be mindful of. These do not automatically go into a rest mode unless you put them back in the smart case. Now, Apple says these get about 20 hours of battery life. These haven't died on me yet, and I think I've gotten a little over 20 hours. So I think some people reported that they've gotten 24 hours. I'm sure that depends on what volume you have these at and different things. So I think that could also play a factor in how much time you get before these die. But that is 20 hours is more than enough. You can charge these up for 15 minutes and get an hour and a half of playback or something along those lines. So you can definitely, still get the battery life on these is really, really good. So, but again, just be mindful that they do have to go back in the smart case in order for them to go into a low power mode or essentially turn off. Otherwise, they will remain on and you will drain the battery. So just be mindful of that. Unlike the Sony XM4s that have an actual power button, these you can turn off. They do also have a feature of being able to be, as soon as you take them off your head, the music will pause or your playback will pause and then resume once you put them back on your head. So yeah, honestly, guys, I would say it really just comes down to, again, what it is you're looking for. I think overall, I would recommend the AirPod Maxes over the Sony XM4s. But again, that is my opinion. That's because I am in the Apple ecosystem. I'm really big on, I love the transparency mode. I think that's an amazing feature to have. And to me, it's, again, worlds better than the competition at this point. It sounds like you don't have headphones on. I can't stress that enough. Another thing I wanted to talk about really quick is the spatial audio on these. Wow, you guys, watching a movie on these, I was watching a movie on my iPad the other day and it is stunning. The sound is crazy. It literally is like a movie theater type feel because as you're, moving your head from left to right with these on, it controls the audio that's in front of you, and it's something that you have to try out. Now, I know that feature is also on the AirPods Pro, which I've tried out, which is really, really good on the AirPods Pro too as well. But on these, there's just something about having over the ear headphones with spatial audio that is just amazing. So the noise canceling on these is really is done really well, but also the spatial audio. But I would say my favorite thing about these so far, I would definitely have to say, is as far as a feature goes, is that transparency mode. It is just, it's super awesome. I have 2 kids, so for me, being able to just click the button and have transparency mode, I can hear, it lets in all the sound. It really does sound phenomenal. So I would say that probably is one of the biggest features I would say about these. Again, active noise canceling, still really good. Very close to what I would say the Sony XM4s. But overall, I would definitely recommend these if you are part of the Apple ecosystem, for sure. I think if you don't currently have a pair of active noise canceling headphones and you are looking into getting these and the price isn't really that big of a deal to you, then I definitely would say that they're worth it. But I think if you are just looking for still a very good solid pair of active noise canceling headphones, then you can't go wrong with the Sony XM4s. These are still a phenomenal pair of headphones. I would say these are now second to the AirPod Maxes for me. So let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Are you guys gonna pick up the AirPod Maxes? You know, and if you guys have them already, what colors do you have? Are you a fan of the space gray, or do you guys like the other colors? I know they have some other colors too. I think it's pink, blue, silver, green, and then I think the space gray. So they have 5 different color options too as well. So if you don't like these, you can go one of the other colors. But thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Again, let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button for you. Smash that like button for me, not for you. And I appreciate you guys watching. Peace.